Hey guys, it's Byron here and welcome to Byron's Reviews. Today I am once again joined by my good friend Rhys.
Hello again.
And yesterday we just saw Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and we're going to say our first impressions of it. So, what did you think, Rhys?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I didn't think it was as good as Force Awakens.
No,
but then,
I don't.
But then again, Force Awakens was an amazing film in my opinion. But my main thing about this film is that I felt it was like very unique in the Star Wars universe. To me, it didn't really feel much like a Star Wars movie. But I might just speak because the way it's written, the way it's shot, or whatever is kind of different to others. But I think that it is closer to a war film rather than a Star Wars film.
Yeah, and I think you get that impression right from the start, and I think it handles this really well. But like, it says that a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away thing, and you're like, oh, I know what's going to happen. Star Wars logo's going to come on screen. But no, it kind of doesn't opposite to what you're used to.
Yeah, it kind of does a fake out.
Yeah, it kind of, instead of like fading, like tilting down from the sky, it tilts up, which is...
Yeah, but that's not when the credits appear, which is normally where it happens.
Yeah, it's very... And I do like it's to kind of say, because this isn't directly after Force Awakens, it's doing something a bit different. But I'm going to be honest, I think I have the unpopular opinion with this film, because I didn't really like it. I thought in general it was something very simple, which is, oh, there's a rebellion and they need to get the plans for the Death Star, which is something you can pretty much work out, takes place between episode 3 and 4 anyway. I thought it was something very simple that was extended into a very slow pace, long and boring story. And I don't mind films with slower paces. So some of those films have been my favourites. It's just, I didn't think it worked here, because it's obvious it's obvious to me that it seemed like they were just trying to stretch it out as much as possible to make a filler film. And I think the reason this really annoys me is because with The Force Awakens, which I loved, I thought it was amazing, people saying, oh yeah, this is kind of a new Star Wars for the new generation, because it had been a long time since the previous ones. And then for those like younger kids or something who'd seen The Force Awakens but hadn't seen the others, and they hear there's a new Star Wars film coming out a year after The Force Awakens, which is Rogue One, they're excited, they go and see it and they'll be like, what's this? It doesn't fit in. It kind of...
Yeah, like this is definitely one of my major criticisms about the film, the fact that as Force Awakens, you could just watch it by itself and it would stand alone. You wouldn't need to watch all the Star Wars films, so in that way it'd be a perfect segue into the Star Wars universe. You gotta imagine, a lot of people would have watched Force Awakens, but not Rogue One. They wouldn't really know that much about the Star Wars story.
Yeah.
And Rogue One would be immensely confusing for someone who hasn't even watched any of the other films, and yet for some reason the film does have a little bit of unnecessary explanation.
I just don't think it worked very well, because especially after how good The Force Awakens was, with really, really good characters like Rey, and really good almost everything. In my opinion, Rogue One had all these elements to a not as good level. Like, I didn't think Jin, the protagonist, was that good, and I came out of Rogue One almost already forgetting some of the stuff. Like, I was like, oh yeah, all these memorable characters such as Jin, and I couldn't remember any of the others. Whereas when I came out of The Force Awakens, it was like, oh yeah, there's Rey, there's Finn, and yeah.
You see, this is where I disagree with you, Byron, because personally, I think that some of the characters are really good. Like, in The Force Awakens, one of my main criticisms of the film was the fact that Rey, the main character, she was a good character, but she was just kind of too good at everything, and thus I think not that relatable. But I think Jin, since she wasn't kind of just an average person effectively in the Star Wars universe, I felt she was a lot more relatable, because she was kind of just caught up in this big situation she had no control over. I disagree with there not being that many memorable characters. While I would agree
you said you came out of it not remembering.
I don't remember the names, but then again, I'm kind of bad with names anyway. But I will agree there was probably a few too many characters in the film, and those characters kind of fighting for space. But there was this one character who was probably my favourite character in the film, called K2SO.
Oh yeah.
He was basically like a reprogrammed Imperial droid, and he's imagine like C-3PO if the sarcastic nature of him and the sassiness was taken up to 11, and you kind of got him, and it was really good. He had probably the strongest character of all the people in the film, which is ironic considering the fact he's not even a person.
Yeah, and I actually really like that because, like, in The Force Awakens with BB-8, it was obvious they were trying to redo R2-D2. Now it's like they're trying to redo C-3PO in a way and make a newer version of him, which I thought was pretty cool. But I do think this film has a lot of good points. Like, I thought there was some really, really cool moments. There's a part where Darth Vader's in it, and it casts this really cool shadow of him.
Where, like, it's just completely black, and then, like, you just see, like, his, like, lightsaber appear. It looks like a horror villain, almost.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool, because with the prequel trilogy, they sort of took a lot of magic out of Darth Vader with making Anakin Skywalker kind of a little bit, well, whiny, in my opinion. But I think that just having this scene where he just kind of mows down a bunch of rebels is absolutely fantastic, just for making Darth Vader a badass again.
Yeah, and I do think there were a lot of clever and really memorable bits like that. Another one being near the end, and it was probably one of the only things I liked near the end, because honestly, for the last half an hour of the film or so, I was wanting it to end. I was so bored. But that's just my experience with the film, and everybody has different experiences with films, that's fine. But there was a shot near the end where there was this planet with an explosion on it, and it looked like the big, like, dish thing on the Death Star. It made it look like the Death Star, which I thought was a pretty nice mirroring between the two and showing a way of symbolising the Death Star's destruction.
Yeah, like, and another thing I did like about the film, because if we're talking about cool scenes, there are a lot of cool fight scenes in this, especially when there's like this like blind, almost Jedi guy. Like, he just kind of uses, I think, the Force to just know his surroundings, and he's an absolutely badass character, because some of the fight scenes he does are really well choreographed, and or just kind of just wave stormtroopers to waste, really. And, like, he does a lot of cool stuff with his staff, like just flicking it about and dodging shots and all that, and it's really good.
Yeah, while you don't know what's going to happen to these characters throughout their story, you do know generally what's going to happen in the film, because you know what took place before in episode 3, if you've seen it. Like, even I haven't. And you know what's taken place after it in A New Hope, which it does lead on to A New Hope quite nicely, I'll give it that.
Another thing I like about this film is the Mads Mikkelsen, who plays the main character's father. I believe his name is Galen. Galen, yeah.
I think, I can't really remember.
Yeah, and anyway, Galen, he plays like this very sympathetic character. Like, he's been sort of roped into a situation and he just cannot get out of it, and just his existence just to have like a plot hole whether many fans have had a problem with in the Star Wars universe, not saying what it is, because that again is a major spoiler, but he does play the sympathetic character very well, and Mads Mikkelsen, I think, is a fantastic actor. He's sort of taking over the world right now with being a guy in this film, in Rogue One, and now he's also being the main villain in Doctor Strange, and also going in like a new video game made by the person who made Metal Gear. I mean, he's just kind of doing very well for himself, and I'm glad, because it was such a performance like in Casino Royale when he was Blofeld, I believe. He was really.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah, I might have got that wrong who the character is, but he is doing really well for himself. And I think the acting in this film, generally outside of him, with more of unknown people, was actually really good. There's no one I could really call out saying that they're a bad actor.
Yeah, I'd agree with all that, but that plot hole you mentioned, while I think it did need to be filled, to make it a whole movie, I don't know.
Maybe it was a bit unnecessary to try and tie it up, but it at least did give it a good explanation.
I saw A New Hope the night before seeing Rogue One, and I can't help but feel that Star Wars has lost a bit of its charm along the way, because I think in A New Hope it really embraced it was a bit light and silly and a bit goofy with all the weird aliens, and I don't think there was as much of that in Rogue One. Sure, there was humour, but I think they're really trying to make it a bit more gritty and serious, which I I see why they're doing, because Star Wars has become such a loved franchise and people love the world and the story.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think something like Star Wars is inherently silly and cheesy, and I think it should be, to a certain extent, embraced that way.
Yeah, I think that might be one of the positives of the film, where it goes for a bit more of a gritty tone, because...
Yeah, I guess you could see it as that. This could be a negative or a positive to certain people.
Just to reiterate what I was saying, you need to watch at least the original trilogy to get this film. If you haven't, then I'd say avoid this film. But if you want a bit more of a gritty Star Wars film, and you've seen others, this will be perfect for you. You could come out of it one or two ways. If you're a bit more of a casual Star Wars fan, like Byron is, you could end up disliking this film. But if you're like me, who likes Star Wars a bit more, and kind of a bit more knowledgeable in the universe, you will like this quite a bit more. So basically, hardcore Star Wars fans, you will love it. Casual Star Wars fans, it's either hit or miss.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Tell me what you thought of it in the comments, or Rogue One if you've seen it. But until next time, we will see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Star Wars, more like Star Bore, am I right?
You said that joke about 3 times already. No, but seriously, don't sue us, LucasArts.